Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all well. This is Lifestyle Critic, where we break down movies and TV shows into their core elements. And in this video we are going to be reviewing Treasure Planet, which is a beloved Disney animation action-adventure movie based on the novel Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson. Now this movie had an animation budget of $140 million, which is one of the highest for an animation production, but unfortunately it just did not drive the box office sales required for this movie to be successful, and as such they were very swiftly cancelling the planned sequel and the planned TV series, which is just such a shame, as this movie franchise really could have been absolutely amazing. I mean, the first film was so good and it really did demand at least getting a sequel after it, but alas, it wasn't meant to be. But you know, that being said, the Treasure Planet movie is a brilliant animation film and I cannot wait to break it down for you in this movie review. So from a storyline point of view, Treasure Planet really does come into its own, as the storyline is super gripping, super compelling, and it is just communicated so well in this action-adventure movie. So the film kicks off by telling the story of legendary pirate Captain Flint, who would appear out of nowhere and would raid ships of their loot and then store them on a fabled place called Treasure Planet. Originally, this opening sequence was the adult Jim character recounting this story, but then they shifted this into being the younger Jim character coming across this from a storybook, as this is kind of keeping in more of Disney's narrative style. We then learn about Jim's love for hoverboarding, his absent father, which is a really interesting deleted scene where you can see the Jim character helping out an alien and then getting a bit jealous of this alien's father character. And we also learn about the troubled relationship that he has with his mother. Jim then comes across the map to Treasure Planet, and after a really intense sequence, he goes on this brilliant epic quest with really interesting characters to try and find the fabled Treasure Planet and all of the loot that goes alongside it. So like I just said, from a casting characters point of view, this movie is really strong. It's got brilliant voice actors playing really interesting characters. So let's go through them one by one. So first up we have Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who brilliantly brings the Jim Hawkins character to life, a relatively innocent adolescent who is just really hungry for adventure and really learns about what people can really be like in this film, and is also, like I said before, just longing for an absent father figure in his life as well. Next up we have Brian Murray, who brings the John Silver character to life, a menacing undercover pirate who unwittingly forms a father-son relationship with the Jim Hawkins character. I really like this character as he is really complicated, has quite a lot of layers, and what you see on the outside is very different to the actual journey that this character goes on. Next up we have David Pearce, who plays the Dr. Doppler character, an astronomer and a guardian for the Jim Hawkins character. I was expecting this character to go down a very different path, but either way he does round off the cast really well. Next up we have Emma Thompson, who is playing the Captain Amelia character, the leader of this ship. And actually the Dr. Amelia character and the Dr. Doppler character both look very similar to the Whoville from the Grinch franchise, which I thought was pretty hilarious. Next up we have Martin Short, who brings the robot Ben character to life, quite literally, as this character is missing a few parts and as such hasn't got his full memory. So it was really interesting how they used this character as a device in the final arc of this movie, and he was also able to fill in some of the missing pieces that these characters need to know in terms of what Treasure Planet is all about. Next up we have Mr. Arrow, who is Captain Amelia's second in command, a really interesting journey that this character goes on as well, but I won't spoil anything in terms of what happens to him. Next up we have Sarah Hawkins, who plays Jim Hawkins' mother. We don't see this character that much in this movie, but they do kind of set up the relationship between Jim and his mother Sarah. Next up we have Morph, who is a very cute character, very similar to Ditto the Pokemon in terms of being able to change into anyone or anything, and he definitely uses this power in this movie. And then finally we have the other crew members in this ship, and they are really menacing in their own right and definitely do some deadly things in this movie as well. So from a casting characters point of view, whilst they are predominantly based on a ship trying to go to Treasure Planet, they are still very rounded as well. So from a visuals point of view, the computer animation in this film looks really cool. It's a bit of a blend of adventure and sci-fi, and like I said earlier on, it had a massive budget of £140 million, and you can really tell as all of the aspects of this movie looks really, really cool. So all of the alien creatures that you see are really, really individual, especially John Silver. He's able to do some really, really cool stuff. It does kind of feel a little bit Star Warsy in terms of seeing different creatures on loads of different planets. Speaking of which, all of the different planets and all of the different locations that they go to are really, really cool as well. And then the pirates aspect looks really, really pirate-esque, but in space, so it has a little bit of a Skies of Arcadia vibe to it as well. So from a visuals point of view, it does not disappoint in Treasure Planet. So from a comparison point of view, like I said a second ago, there's loads of different inspirations that this movie definitely takes, but in terms of comparing it to other actual movies, I don't think it's as good as Atlantis or Aladdin, but I do think it's a lot better than Titan, AE and Sinbad. Like I said, in terms of inspiration, it also takes some inspiration from the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, but definitely does its own spin on it in terms of this action-adventure animation movie. And like I said, it does actually feel like a bit of an adventure game at certain points as well. I did kind of feel like I'm in a bit of a point-and-click adventure, a little bit Monkey Island-esque as well, especially in terms of the pirate side of things as well. So from a comparison point of view, there's definitely loads of things that you can compare Treasure Planet to. So overall, I have to say I really enjoyed Treasure Planet. It was a really, really cool movie, a really nice new angle and a new take for Disney to go down, and I think it at least should have got a sequel, as it was such a brilliant movie, but unfortunately it just didn't perform that well in the box office, and it's just so disappointing that they didn't continue with their sequel and planned TV franchise, as there was just so much opportunity here, especially as they had planned the sequel where they were going to bring back the John Silver character, they were going to introduce a new love interest for the Jim Hawkins character, and they were going to bring in a new villain as well, voiced by William Dafoe with the name of Ironbeard. So there was so much stuff planned for the sequel, and it would have just been so awesome, but alas, it wasn't meant to be. But either way, Treasure Planet the movie was so good, and for all of those reasons, I have to give it a solid 6.5 out of 10. I'd love to hear what you think, so please let me know in the comment section below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in my next video.